Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. We're here to interview and honor Roy Louth. Is that the Okay.
Just like South.
Okay.
Like South.
Okay. Anyway, I'm Major Ross, and this is Roy. He's a Pearl Harbor survivor. If you remember the events from just from pictures years ago, Pearl Harbor was December 7th, 1941. And so today, our guest of honor, again, is Mr. Roy Louth. And we will begin the interview and ask Mr. Louth about his military career first, and then we'll get right into the events of Pearl Harbor. Okay? And so your background, sir?
Well, I was raised on a farm in Iowa, and I went in the Navy in December of '39, and went aboard the Pennsylvania in '40, and I was on it for a little over 2 years. Pearl Harbor. I left Pennsylvania in August of '42, and I only seen the ship one time in Frisco since I left it, and that's about it. I like the ship. First guy I met on the Pennsylvania was a schoolmate of mine in a little town, Batavia, Iowa. About 500 population, and I happened to walk aboard, and there he was. His name was Bruce Fisher, and I run into him a couple of times. He got in a little trouble, but we ran into each other off and on during my Navy career. And that's about the size of it. I was in the Navy 21 years, and then was World War II and the Korean War. And that's about the size of my Navy career.
Well, Mr. Louth, I see that you are retired from your bio, and a couple of the items that I've collected from your relatives, your son and daughter. So what rank did you retire as?
Gunner's mate first. Gunner's mate.
Okay, excellent. Okay, are there any questions for Mr. Louth at this point in time?
Can I at least come in and say how I know him?
Yes.
You want to say something?
Hi, I'm Al Stazikevich, Roy Louth's son-in-law of 31 years. Roy might be a Pearl Harbor vet, and he might be a World War II vet and a Korean vet, but I'll tell you what, it takes a brave man to take on all them kids. I think he's a hero in my book just for doing that. And he always caught more fish than me. I stopped fishing then. It was no fun anymore. Anyway, this is his day.
Thank you very much. We will continue on to our main event here on your about December 7th, 1941. From your memory, sir, can you tell me the events leading up to the actual battle before the Zeros came in and struck the boats?
The Pennsylvania was a flagship of the fleet, and we usually tied up at what they call 10-10 pier, which we pulled at the dry dock on Friday before Sunday the 7th. And So we was in dry dock, we didn't have any ammunition up in the, first thing you do when you pull in the dry dock, you take all of the ammunition out of the ready boxes and let them go load to the magazine. So when we got, say, planes came in, the torpedo planes came in first over the subbase, and that did the most damage to Pennsylvania. Battleship Row, which is over 4 islands. Arizona was the last one down, and then Oklahoma, Tennessee, Nevada, California, West Virginia. If I repeat some of them, anyway, I was up at the top of the mainmast where we had a machine gun nest, a 450 caliber machine gun. As I said before, we emptied the ready boxes on Friday, so we had no ammunition up there until later, after the damage was pretty well done. We took one bomb, which was about 15 feet from where I was stationed at the top of the mainmast. And I heard it go by, and it went down through the boat deck, and then galley deck, and then exploded on the main deck. And it wiped out a 5-inch gun crew, which I'd been a member of at one time, which I was lucky I had been transferred. Otherwise, all 12 people on that 5-inch 38 had got killed. And it killed quite a few cooks, which is, like I say, went through the galley deck. And actually, I think it was 33 people got killed. And I'll never forget the day because I had a ringside seat overlooking the harbor, and I seen the Arizona blow up, the Oklahoma roll over, and Nevada get underway, and it beast itself over on the point just entered in Pearl Harbor. Anyway, we came back and started, we got out of dry dock and we came back to the States with 2 other ships. I believe it was the Tennessee and West Virginia. They went on the dry dock up to get new guns up Bremerton, Washington, where we went into San Francisco and got 20 millimeters and 40 millimeter guns in place of the old 3-inch we had. Anyway, I'll never forget the day and everything that went on. It was the shortest day I think I ever spent in my life. The first thing I knew, they set up sandwiches. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it seemed like we'd only been up there a couple of hours. Anyway, I thank the Lord for being there and also saving me. Like I say, I married a lady after we went together for a while, and we didn't get married till after I got out of the Navy, but we'd been overfishing on the canal, and All-American Canal, they called it, over by Winter Haven. And she says, let's get married, and we did. We went in Yuma, got a blood test, and got married, went right back up on the canal fishing. She said she really caught a whopper that day. So anyway,
Oh, yes, you did. Yes.
we had a good life together. We bowled a lot. We danced, go to dances. But I lost a leg here a couple of years ago. And so my dancing days are over. And my bowling, my golfing. Anyway, I still make candy. And it's that time of year right now where I'm just getting started again.
Any specialties, sir, in your candy making? Do you have any special type that you
Oh, I make pecan rolls, nut clusters, all different kinds. I make about any kind of candy. Of course, when I was a kid on the farm, we made our own candy, and where I learned how.
Now, what is your favorite?
I had 3 sisters and 1 brother, and most of the people like pecan rolls. They're a little bit of time consuming because you got to freeze the centers before you can dip them in the hot caramel and then cover with pecans.
So I think that's your favorite then, the pecan roll.
Well, yeah, like I say, it takes a couple of days to make them. But I usually make about 3 batches, which is about 15 to a batch. They're about 10 inches long, 1.5 diameter. Anyway, everybody seems to like them real well. And the nut cluster, some of the favor them also. It cost me quite a bit of money come Christmas, but that's my gift to the family and friends and whatnot. And they seem to all look forward to it.
Very nice. Very nice. But getting back to the Pearl Harbor events, after the actual battle, can you recall any events that happened thereafter?
Well, that evening, the USS Enterprise was out at sea, and they set a couple of planes in, and they set up machine guns nests throughout the harbor there. And they'd test fire them. And accidentally, one of the planes came in that evening about 9 o'clock, and they shot it down, which is our own plane. And I recall that. And we had 2 destroyers in the same dry dock. We was lucky we only got 1 bomb hit. But the 2 destroyers, USS Casey and Downs, they would blow it all to heck. In fact, part of the ships that was up on the bow of our ship, they was in the dry dock in front of us. And the USS Shaw was in the small dry dock over to the right. And it got blown up pretty bad too. And like I say, it was a long day, but it was a short one for me. And like I say, everything happened so quick. Nobody's expecting them to be attacked, which in the end they got the worst of it. I went on several ships. First I went on a USS tanker, a Ramapo, which is a 2 screw job. And we run to the oceans, and we had quite a few experiences there with rough water and whatnot. And we lost a destroyer, USS Portsmouth, which was escorting us from Kodiak to Dutch Harbor. and a big wave came over from the stern, which is unusual. And we had wind scoops, and we happened to be playing cards down in the cruise quarters, and here all this water came down the wind scoop into a compartment, and we thought we got torpedoed.
Wow.
Well, what had happened, the wave took off a 20-millimeter gun tub, and it crashed down through the mess hall. And the same wave caught the destroyer was escorting us, and when it came, it hit them on the stern also, and it wiped out a shoe gun nest, which is the last two depth charges in it. Swept off the ship by the wave, and when the first depth charge went down 50 feet, which they had it armed, it went off and the other depth charge dragged off, and it did the same thing, and it wiped out about 30 foot of the stern, and it was sinking. And this I recall very well because I couldn't get over to get the line throwing gun. We had one at the rear stern, and I shot every ball twine, and next to the last ball, I finally got it over to the destroyer, and brought it alongside, and they didn't lose a man. Of all the, like I said, it blew about 30 foot of the stern off the destroyer, and which I was an old one with a four-piper. In other words, they had four stacks. And we took the crew off, and about 30 minutes later it sank. And like I said before, they did lose a man, and we had a couple of injuries. One guy broke his leg, and the other guy had an arm injury. But outside of that, it was a really life-saving experience. And I was happy that I finally got a line over to him. And the wind was blowing, and the waves were coming over the well deck. And they jumped from the bridge over into a 3-inch gun tub. And anyway, I was very lucky to come through it. And it was one experience I'll never forget.
Wow. Just incredible. Oh, wow.
Pretty amazing.
Very. So from those events, when you got back onto the docks that day, you know, there was a lot of destruction there between the port and trying to get the airplanes going up to countermeasure the attack. Do you remember anything about a couple of those events there, or hear any stories at all?
Well, like I say, we didn't have any ammunition in my battle station until later. And like I say, I had a ringside seat where I seen all the ships get hit and blow up and whatnot. And in the Oklahoma River, went belly side up, really. Most of the side. Anyway, they revived it, and once the Arizona, it blew up and wiped out the biggest part of the deaths, which is over 2,000, but they lost over 1,100 of their crew, which is almost 2/3 of it. And that's still the main attraction today is going over. I just had a good friend of mine got married, and I bought him enough tickets to go to see the Arizona, but they were too crowded. They wouldn't take it in for history. But
Good for another 100,000
people
miles.
going for a while, or Honolulu, or vacation and whatnot. I think it's one of the nicest tours a person could take. And hear more about it than I do. But anyway, it's a nice tribute to all the people in the 2,000 and some days that happened. I'll never forget. I know
Vitamin D is a little bit. What age do you think that represents? You said, well, that's probably dying at 30 or halfway. If you're 20, I just put the other way. I'm 80.
Great. Again, thank you again, sir. And thank you, distinguished guest. And didn't want to leave the Pearl Harbor bit, but wanted to get your experiences about the Korean War, since you've been serving that.
I really wasn't involved too much with it because I was on two ships and in the Korean War, the USS Astoria, which was a cruiser, what they call a light cruiser, and then I went on the USS Philippine Sea, which is an aircraft carrier, which we launched planes to bomb North Korea. But as far as seeing actual battle, I didn't really wasn't involved with it, except we knew that we was bombing North Korea and whatnot. But as far as the actual engagement myself, I just aboard the ship, which we heard about, the bombing and whatnot, but I didn't fire any guns, or we didn't bomb, engage in any battles or anything with North Korea, except the aircraft that was launched from the Philippine Sea did the bombing, which we did through them out. And of course, shortly after the Korean War, I was retired from the Navy, and I went to work at Convair for 5 years, and then worked at Ryan for 18 years, and finally retired. And got married, and like I already spoken about, my wife and 8 kids, which I think is the best move I ever made. We had good times together. We danced a lot. We bowled a lot. We fished a lot. And everything we did together. So, like I say, you met one of my youngest daughter, which she kind of kept care of me, and through my last ordeal when I lost a leg, which is, I didn't realize it was that bad. I had an infected toe. And lost that leg, and then all the toes on my left leg, I lost it just below the knee. And then all my toes on the right foot. But I still get around pretty good. And enjoying life like I should. I don't drive anymore. I had a little accident, and I'm glad I finally woke up, and it just wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and do you have any other last comments for the veterans today that's out there about your experiences in being a retired Navy?
Mostly, all I can say is the people in the wars now were Afghanistan and Iraq and in places. I don't believe they should be over there. But the ones that are, I know they're doing a good job, and they're true Americans. And I hope and pray for their return safely.
Me too.
I've had quite a few friends that was involved in the Iraqi war and also in Afghanistan. And I'm glad they're back home now with their families. But I know, and everybody else knows, that it ain't going to end today or tomorrow. It's going to take time, and we have to sacrifice lives and whatnot, which I don't like, but we've got real brave American soldiers, the Marines, Navy, all the services, and I know they'll do a good job.
Well, thank you again, sir, and it's my pleasure having you, and it's been an honored guest for today, and hope many more returns to you and more interviews. Hope you continue to be able
94th birthday coming up.
Yes, I heard.
For an air sharp pop. And he said, come.
Colleen, she was born on
I was born on Pearl Harbor
December
Day.
7th.